In just 48 hours, more than 2 hectares of vegetable fields in the outskirts of Beja, southern Portugal, turned into a battlefield. Many footprints, broken stems, everything was like a challenge left behind. The farmland was repeatedly invaded, leaving the locals anxious and almost powerless. An alert was issued immediately. We answered the call for help, teaming up with local forces to prevent the wild boar herd from advancing further into the fields. And today, we officially enter into a life-or-death battle with these fierce creatures. Stay tuned! The dogs were quickly released. Before long, they had picked up the scent of the prey. The barking echoed, sharp and frantic, filling the entire field as they surrounded the target from all sides. Boom! A clean shot, and the sow fell to the ground. If it hadn't been taken down now, in just a few days, the whole field would be overrun by her litter. We received a report of wild boar sightings in the southern part of the field. We quickly jumped into the vehicle, the engine roaring as we raced to the reported location. As soon as we stepped out of the truck, the wild boar charged straight at us. Weighing 200 kilograms, it came barreling toward me, way too close. A decisive shot rang out. If I had hesitated for even a split second, I might have been the one lying on the ground. It was a terrifying close encounter. My back and hands were drenched in sweat after that brush with danger. The fields here stretch across dozens of hectares, so we had to divide into multiple teams to block off different directions. However, the pursuit was far from easy. With lightning-fast speed and incredible agility, even using off-road vehicles, getting close and taking down the wild boar proved to be a real challenge. Only through seamless coordination, steady nerves, and real-world experience could we hope to bring down such a cunning creature. The sunlight had dimmed, but the air in the field was still buzzing with the echoes of the hunting dogs. They worked tirelessly, tracking every scent, quickly driving the wild boar into the open. It was thanks to them that we had the chance to deliver a powerful and precise shot. A clean shot ended the chase, and with it, all the tension in my chest was released with a sigh of relief. From now on, this field will no longer suffer any further destruction. It was already 6 p.m., but we still couldn't pull back. A herd of wild boars appeared at the edge of the vegetable field, preparing for a brutal rampage. But today, what awaited them here was the inevitable end for trespassing into a territory they should never have entered. If you don't hear the sound of a gunshot, don't be fooled into thinking the battle is over. We remained alert to everything happening around us. Every step was taken with caution, ensuring that the shot would land perfectly. And there could be no more fitting end to today's hunt. And so, the fierce battle has officially come to an end. After a long, exhausting day filled with heart-stopping moments, the team finally made it back safely. The mission to stop the monstrous herd and protect this land has been temporarily concluded, and everything turned out even better than expected.
Wild boars, tenacious monsters with razor-sharp tusks and terrifying power, capable of wrecking entire crops in the blink of an eye. They're not just aggressive, they're cunning, slipping through narrow trails and ready to charge when cornered, striking fear into the hearts of farmers. We can't let them continue their rampage. We, the hunters, must act immediately. So how we take down these beasts? Let's find out in this dramatic and intense hunt. Early in the morning, we hit the road, heading toward the base of the mountain in our trusty vehicle. This time, we were joined by well-trained hunting dogs specialized in sniffing out and tracking down wild boars hiding in the terrain.
At the property, and yeah, let's get them out.
As soon as we arrived, we quickly moved toward the pre-planned hunting spot. 5 minutes later, the sudden barking of the hunting dogs echoed through the area. We immediately moved toward the source of the sound. As we arrived, a massive wild boar burst out from the bushes below, desperately fleeing from the dogs on its trail. The moment it broke through the underbrush, I pulled the trigger without hesitation. The boar dropped on the spot, no chance to escape. "15 minutes passed, in complete silence. Then suddenly, the hunting dog's barks erupted from deep within the forest. They must have picked up the scent of a wild boar. The sound grew louder and closer. I quickly focused, trying to pinpoint the target's position. There, it was charging out from the thick brush. I aligned my barrel with its movement, then squeezed the trigger. With a thunderous gunshot, the boar collapsed to the ground, unable to take another step. After that clean shot, we quickly moved up the mountain slope. Once again, the hounds barked loudly from the bushes below. We advanced to check the area. Suddenly, the wild boar charged upward, and I didn't hesitate to pull the trigger. The shot was decisive. The boar dropped, motionless, no chance to escape any further. At the foot of the mountain, we also had a team stationed to intercept. They were closing in on a wild boar, trying to hide. Under intense pressure, the boar was forced to abandon its cover. As it burst out, Lucas raised his rifle and locked onto the path the target was taken down. It didn't take us long to spot the next target, a wild boar being chased out of its hiding place by the hunting dogs. I quickly tracked its path, took aim, and pulled the trigger. The gunshot echoed through the open air, and the boar collapsed, motionless in place. A teammate signaled that one had escaped, so we quickly used our phones to pinpoint its direction. The sound of the hunting dogs echoed from the nearby forest. They were on the run. I raised my rifle, took aim, and pulled the trigger. On our way down a mountain, my hunting dog suddenly started barking loudly. It must have sensed a wild boar nearby. After a brief chase by the dogs, the boar bolted, unaware that someone had been waiting in ambush. And with just a single shot, it was stopped in its tracks. Once again, we swiftly dealt with a threat to the local farmers.
At midnight, John's peaceful sleep was shattered by the urgent ringing of his phone. A panicked voice pleaded for help. Wild boars were rampaging through the German fields. Their razor-sharp tusks tore through every furrow, then swiftly vanished into the dense forest, easily escaping the farmer's pursuit. Without hesitation, John and his team hit the road, heading straight toward the beast's hideout. Will they arrive in time to save the fields before everything is flattened? Stay tuned to find out the fate of these wild boars. At just 5 a.m., John's entire team moved steadily into position, encircling the forest. Their determined footsteps crushed dry branches, marking the start of today's hunt. After a thorough search, John paused, eyes fixed on the brush ahead. Suddenly, a dark shape flickered within. It had to be a wild boar. Instantly, John took aim and raised his rifle. With a decisive squeeze of the trigger, the beast was down in the blink of an eye. Without moving in to confirm, John shifted his gaze to another corner. Through his binoculars, a wild boar slipping back to its den came into sharp focus. Barrel already raised, the trigger was squeezed without warning. A single bullet was enough to cut off the beast's escape, sending it tumbling down the hillside. A threat dealt with swiftly, cleanly, and precisely. John pressed forward, guided by the frantic calls of the hunting dogs. His swift steps closed in on the source of the noise. Ahead, dense thickets blocked any clear view of the beast. But with years of battle-hardened experience, John quickly predicted its path. The moment it revealed itself, the gunshot cracked sharply. There was no doubt. The creature lay still, silent, with no cry left to utter. Just when it seemed the hunt was over, a signal came from deep within the forest. Wild boars had appeared. The team quickly regrouped, moving into their assigned positions as planned. Minutes later, John was ready, gun in hand, eyes sharp on every movement. As he turned his head, the herd slipped through the trees and charged out. Cold gunfire rang out. The lead boar fell instantly. The rest vanished at an astonishing speed, too fast for him to reload in time. At another spot, a fierce battle was unfolding. Finn was the one to open fire. Right ahead, A herd of wild boars, unaware of Finn's presence, calmly foraged. With a series of swift and precise moves, the gun was ready. Each squeeze of the trigger echoed sharply. One beast dropped on the spot. No time to react. Another flawless victory was marked. At the same time, John pressed on with the chase and soon spotted the remaining herd. They charged like a whirlwind, making John's head spin, but nothing could shake John. He unleashed a burst of shots, tracking every step the beasts took. Within minutes, the forest lay scattered with fallen game. Peace had been reclaimed for the land and its people.
Wild boars are ravaging the fields, spreading fear among farmers. But standing still is not an option. A group of fearless hunters has gathered, ready to take down the beasts and restore balance to the land. What follows are heart-pounding confrontations, where skill and precision make all the difference. Will these wild boars escape? Stay with us until the end to find out how this high-stakes hunt unfolds. 5 a.m. The familiar truck rolls forward, carrying Finn's hunting team toward the hills of Province, where fresh wild boar tracks have been spotted. Upon arrival, the team wastes no time. They quickly coordinate with a pack of hunting dogs and begin the pursuit.
Hassan!
Without hesitation, Finn's teammates dash toward the noise, driven purely by instinct. Right before their eyes, a massive boar scrambles to escape the tightening circle of hounds. But it's too late. A single, decisive gunshot rings out, sealing off any chance of escape. Then come the volleys, each shot a triumph, each fallen boar a symbol of reclaimed peace for this land once plagued by destruction. At the same time, over on the Morven hillside, a heart-pounding chase was unfolding. Nick's team was already in position, lying in wait for the perfect moment. Then a wild boar emerged, starting to tear through the crops below. Before it could cause more damage, the team opened fire. The first shot hit, but the boar, driven by raw instinct, bolted uphill, desperately seeking escape. Nick immediately followed the trail it left behind. And just as the familiar silhouette came into view, a cold, precise shot into the air. The beast collapsed. No more running, no more destruction. Join Jay's hunting mission in the Arden Forest, where the wild boar population is growing out of control, seriously threatening crops and the daily lives of local people. Before they had a chance to escape, gunfire broke out, rapid and intense. Some of the boars were taken down on the spot, while the rest quickly fled into the forest. But it didn't stop there. Another burst of gunfire echoed from deeper inside the woods, as if to send a clear message to these beasts. This is no longer a place where they can run wild. A signal came from one of the team members, right as the sound of rustling leaves rolled from the bushes ahead. Burst out, lightning fast. Kevin's gunshot rang out instantly. The pack of hunting dogs rushed in, overwhelming the boar before it had any chance to escape. A clean, precise ambush executed to perfection. The sound of barking echoed from deep within the woods, signaling that the target had been spotted. Moments later, a wild boar burst out from the brush. Before it could sense the danger, John pulled the trigger. A precise shot, the boar dropped instantly. Gunfire soon followed from other positions, ending the hunt with swift, decisive action. Peace returned once more to the Eiffel Forest. The crops were safe.
Shadow of Death. Hunters confront wild boar in the dense forest. From rugged hillsides to dense shadowy forests, nothing can halt the advance of these fearless marksmen. Fierce battles, confronting danger to protect crops, land, and livestock from the devastation of wild beasts. The heart-pounding hunts that follow will keep you glued to the screen. Each shot left you stunned. Watch to the end, and don't forget to share your thoughts with us. At dawn, Nick's hunting team set out in their familiar truck to an area reported to be hiding a group of wild boars.
Oh, yes.
Upon arrival, the team swiftly took their pre-planned positions, fully prepared, waiting for their prey to emerge. After a tense wait, Lucky spotted the silhouette of a wild boar on the opposite hillside. The moment its form broke through the tree cover, Lucky fired. A rapid succession of gunshots echoed, finally halting its charge. Leaving the boar no chance to wreak further havoc on the land. On the eastern slope of the hill, after a period of observation, a dark figure weaving through the bushes came into clear view through Nick's binoculars. His rifle was ready, and he precisely tracked the wild boar's movement. With a single shot, the beast collapsed on the spot. Its escape route was completely cut off, restoring peace to the land. At the same moment, another hunting team was tracking the wild beasts in a dense forest. Upon arriving, they quickly took up blocking positions, surrounding the forest with a resolve to prevent any boar from charging down to devastate the crops. Deep in the woods, John spotted a herd of wild boars hiding in the thick underbrush ahead. A gunshot rang out, sending the herd into a panicked stampede. Unexpectedly, a few chose the wrong direction, charging straight into John's line of sight. Without hesitation, a bullet struck the second boar, dropping it instantly. The others managed to vanish into the deep forest, leaving John no further chance to pull the trigger. Outside, the other team members also spotted the herd of frantic beasts charging out from the forest. The marksmen instantly took their positions, ready for the targets to emerge.
Yapıştır. Çok iyi. Tamam.
As soon as the boars appeared, a volley of gunshots rang out. But they moved too fast, leaving only one carcass behind in the underbrush. The radio crackled. relaying the escape routes of the wild boars to the remaining hunters. On the eastern edge of the forest, a boar charged straight through the blockade position of one of the team's marksmen. Its body fully exposed in a clearing, a sharp gunshot rang out decisively. The boar collapsed instantly, with no chance to flee. Almost simultaneously, other gunshots echoed through the forest, signaling that the remaining boars had been dealt with. The hunt concluded successfully, restoring peace to the land.